The Sultan of Sokoto and other traditional rulers want insecurity tackled decisively. Zamfara State APC inaugurates caretaker committees. President Muhammadu Buhari fails to ascend federal audit bill since January 2019. On business, the naira appreciated marginally against the dollar, closing at 475 naira to a dollar at the parallel market. On sports, former Liverpool manager dies at 73. And on the international scene, UNICEF demands safe release of Katsina school children. Welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. Sultan of Sokoto Mohammed Saad Abubakar has called on federal government and governors of the 36 states to rise up and tackle the spate of insecurity in the country. The Sultan made a call when he led a delegation of the National Council of Traditional Rulers on a sympathy visit to Governor Babagana Umar Zulum at the Government House, Maiduguri. Sultan Saad Abubakar said this was the first time the council visited any state to discuss issues of national security. For more on the story, Samira Ibrahim reports.
He described the killings of innocent people as unacceptable, urging for more decisive action to end the menace. The Sultan said they decided to come together as a council of traditional rulers to make this statement to all and sundry, not only to the governor of Borno State, but to all the governors to please rise up to the occasion, see how they can come together and fight this menace of shedding innocent people's blood. He pointed out that for the insurgency to be defeated, the military need to occupy the Lake Chad area and the Sambisa forest. He called on Nigerians not to relent in offering prayers for sustainable peace to reign in the country. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum stressed the need to accord traditional rulers special position in the nation's law. The governor observed that the major challenge confronting the state is providing means of livelihood to 1.5 million displaced persons, calling on the federal government to deploy more security to enable farmers cultivate their farmlands. The Sultan was accompanied on the condolence visit by Obi of Onitsha, Igwe Inamaka, Alfred Ogochukwu, Oba Akundele Adebayo, Ore of Otin, Emir of Hadeja, Dr. Adamu Abubakar Maji, Emir of Fika, Muhammad Abale Ibn Muhammad Idrisa, Amanyanabo of Opobo Kingdom, King Dr. Dandasin Douglas Jaja. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
It has come to the notice of Governor Bello Matawalle Marado that following the unfortunate abduction of school children at Kankara, Katsina State, the blame game has continued on who is responsible. The social media is agog again with many unreasonable comments accusing the Zamfara State Police of dialoguing with the bandits as responsible for escalation of attacks in neighboring state of the Northwest. This is an echo of what Governor Bello Aminu Masari earlier said of the escalating attacks in his own state. For more on the story, Rahama Ibrahim Dosara reports.
Governor Matawalle reiterated that the attacks anywhere in the northwest and indeed the whole country are unfortunate, abominable and condemnable. However, it is very uncharitable to blame them on the peace accord of his administration, which has brought some semblance of peace to Zamfara State. The governor has more than once in the past called on his colleagues in the region to copy his initiative at brokering genuine peace with the bandits and try to settle them to normal life. Indeed, even Katsina State Governor tried it but later abandoned it. He said it is very unfortunate that such accusations are coming at a time when he is doing everything possible to assist in the release of these innocent children. However, he will not join issues with any quarters, but wish to once again call on all his neighboring colleagues to embrace the dialogue with option of carrot and stick approach, as it still remains the best option for a lasting peace in the region. This dialogue, however, must be truthful, genuine and honest. Rahma Ibrahim Dosara reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday in Daura, Katsina State, received more briefing on children kidnapped from Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, with an assurance from Governor Aminu Bello Masari of steady progress to bring them back unhurt. The governor, who was accompanied by the deputy governor of the state, Maniria Cope, said the kidnappers had made contact and discussions were already on pertaining the safety and return to their homes. Governor Masari also noted that security agencies had located the position of the children. For more on the story, over now to our correspondent Peter Phillips.
Governor Masari said the president was fully committed to the rescue of the school children, adding that it was only appropriate to visit the president and give him more details of rescue efforts. The governor disclosed that the abductors of students of Government Science Secondary School, Kankara local government area of the state, have contacted his government on modalities for their safe release. Briefing newsmen on Monday after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, the governor noted that talks are ongoing to ensure safe return of the students in captivity. Meanwhile, a student named withheld of the attacked school, who escaped from the bandits' hideout, said 2 of the students have been killed. A parent of a missing student, Hajia Faiza Hamza Kankara, who spoke to newsmen, said the survivor student stated this while giving an account of his ordeal in the hands of the captors. The grieving parent said the student told them that the bandits fed them with leaves and beat them like cattle. She also said the student told them that students still missing stands at over 500, saying whoever said the number of missing children is 10 is not saying the truth. That's the reports. Peter Phillips reporting for Svtv News Guso.
The Boko Haram terrorists have claimed responsibility for the abduction of hundreds of schoolboys of Government Science Secondary School, Kankara in Katsina State on Friday night. In the wake of the attack, at least 600 out of the over 800 schoolboys were declared missing. Although the state governor Aminu Masari claimed only 333 are missing, a school register seen by newsmen showed 668 students missing. In a half-past-4 audio meeting sent to Daily Nigerian on Tuesday morning, the leader of Boko Haram, Abubakar Shekau, said his group abducted the schoolboys because Western education is against the tenets of Islam. What happened in Katsina was done to promote Islam and discourage un-Islamic practices, as Western education is not the type of education permitted by Allah and His Holy Prophet. They are also not teaching what Allah and His Holy Prophet commanded, rather destructing the Islam. The Kaduna State Ministry of Education has shut down all public schools across the 23 local government areas of the state due to the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. The Commissioner of Education, Dr. Sheikh Mohammed McCarthy, disclosed this in a statement issued on Tuesday. He said the ministry decided to shut down the schools due to the rising cases of COVID-19 infections in the state, which show a replicate of figures recorded in the first wave of the pandemic in April, May, and June 2020, indicating that a new wave of the infection is rapidly spreading across the state. The State Ministry of Health had further confirmed that while the infections cut across age groups, this new wave especially affects those between 10 and 35 years, which form a majority of the populace in the education sector. In its effort to contain the spread of the pandemic and save the lives of people in the state, the Kaduna State government is directing all public and private schools to conclude all necessary arrangements and closed on Wednesday, 16th December 2020, as opposed to the initial closings. The Zamfara State chapter of the All Progressives Congress (APC) has inaugurated caretaker committees to pilot the affairs of the party at the state and 14 local government areas of the state. Alhaji Lawal Liman, the state APC caretaker committee chairman, inaugurated the committees on Monday in Gusau. Alhaji Liman urged members of the committees to justify the confidence reposed in them by working towards repositioning the party in the state. He said as new leaders of the party, their duty is to ensure successful running of the party at grassroots in order to maintain its strength in the state. He directed the chairman of local government area caretaker committees to further inaugurate the local government areas and wards caretaker committees. Alhaji Lawal Liman said the party under the National Caretaker Committee, headed by Governor Mai Malabuni, has initiated various measures to strengthen the party. He commended former Governor Abdulaziz Yari and state APC leader for his continued support for the party. The committee also inaugurated Caretaker Committee Chairman for the 36th State and Federal Capital Territory on December 11th. The chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Sokoto State Council, Issa Shuni, has commended the state government for embarking on people-oriented projects. Malam Issa Shuni gave the commendation on Monday when he led some members of the union on tour of some project embarked upon by Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. He disclosed that the project tallied with the yearning and aspirations of the residents of the state and encouraged the governor to do more. He said as a watchdog, they were there to see what the governor is doing with the public funds and not to antagonize him but to work as partners in progress. The NUJ chairman further stated that during the electioneering campaign, many promises were made to the people, so they are there to see things for themselves and what is on the ground to attest the governor is fulfilling his campaign promises to the people of the state. The West African Examinations Council has approved the barring of students involved in examination malpractice from taking the West African Senior School Certificate examination. This was contained in a press release issued after the 78th meeting of the Examination Committee of WAEC, which is the highest decision-making organ of the Council on examination-related matters. It said the affected candidate to be banned for a certain number of years. For more on the story, Samira Ibrahim reports.
The committee also approved sanctions for all cases of examination malpractices, including the blacklisting of supervisors. A statement from the council explained that, in the course of considering the various reported cases of malpractice, the committee, after diligent deliberations, approved appropriate sanctions in all established cases of malpractice as prescribed by the rules and regulations governing the conduct of the council's examinations. It approved that the entire result of candidates involved in proving cases which attracted cancellation of entire results be cancelled, while subject result of those involved in proving cases which attracted cancellation of subject results be similarly cancelled. In addition, some candidates will also suffer other sanctions such as barring them from sitting for the council's examination for a certain number of years. Some schools will be derecognized for a specified number of years or have their recognition completely withdrawn. Other measures are that some supervisors that were found wanting in the discharge of their examination duties will be formally reported to their employers and blacklisted. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SVTV News.
Despite his vaunted anti-corruption stance, the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, has failed to sign the Federal Audit Bill 2 years after it was presented to him for assent. The bill, which was passed by the 8th National Assembly, aims to give legal backing to the Auditor General of the Federation for effective auditing of all revenues accruing to the Federation and expenditures. It also empowered the Auditor General of the Federation to issue an arrest warrant and penalize officials and agencies which refuse to submit their financial statement for audit. But the presidency has kept none over the bill, which was passed in 2018 as submitted for assent in January 2019. Commenting on the failure of the president to sign the bill into law, our former Nigerian ambassador to Australia, Jerry Obokwe, said the president had not communicated to the National Assembly his reason for not assenting the bill. Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project and the Kano Agricultural and Rural Development Authority have launched collaboration for the implementation of agricultural interventions worth $3.23 million US dollars. $2.32 million US dollars is coming from the Islamic Development Bank, while Kano State government will release $1 million US dollars as a counterpart contribution to the Kano Agricultural and Rural Development Agency for its value chain interventions. The intervention targets 100,000 smallholder legumes farmers across the 44 local government areas of the state over a period of 5 years, beginning from the 2020-2021 planting season. The focus of the interventions is on equipping smallholder farmers, extension agents, agro-processors, and post-harvest handling service providers with knowledge and skills on improved production, post-harvest and agro-processing practices and technologies, as well as creating effective input and output market linkage towards increasing outcomes for beneficiaries. Officials, members of the Coalition of Northern Group, security experts, as well as other participants on Monday narrowly escaped death as thugs invaded the venue of the Security Summit in Kaduna State. The Security Summit, organized by the Coalition of Northern Group, was starting at the Arewa House Auditorium, Kaduna, the state capital, when the armed thugs in their hundreds invaded the place. The summit aimed to discuss ways to achieve synergy between communities and government security and design a uniform approach to the current security situation in the north. For more on the story, Fauzia Ibrahim reports.
Participants at the meeting included retired military officers, retired police officers, religious leaders, traditional rulers, various women, youth and trade associations. The meeting was coming on the heels of the abduction of students of Government Science Secondary School Kankara in Katsina State and other communities in the north. It was gathered that, as the meeting kicked off, the thugs armed with dangerous weapons stormed the auditorium and unleashed terror on participants and guests at the meeting. Scores of people who gathered at the venue immediately took to their heels, some jumping through the windows. Reacting to the development, the CNG spokesperson Abdulaziz Suleiman, in a statement, condemned the action of the armed thugs. In a statement titled "House-Sponsored Thugs Invaded CNG Meeting,"
the gathering is specifically to address the insecurity in the north. We have decided to give the whole day to sit down and discuss and review the security situation in the north in order to complement the government effort of what they are doing. But unfortunately, as you can witness, before we even have started the event, some hoodlums came in with their machetes and all other weapons that we don't even see, attacking people. As you know, as we are talking just 2 days ago, about 400 students were kidnapped in Katsina State. We cannot fold our arms and let things continue going like this. Whoever is behind this attack is an enemy of the North, is an enemy of Nigeria. And I want to assure the public that this will not deter us. Even as for today, we are going to have another place that we are going to conduct our meeting, we are going to invite our guests, and definitely we are going to come up with what we have intended to do. What we have intended to do is how do we complement the government and bring up synergy and a security outfit that is multi-sectoral, where all people will come in and have what we intend to call Arewa Security Marshal.
The CNG spokesperson wondered how armed thugs would freely move in the state's capital without the intervention of security operatives. He regretted to announce that armed thugs, numbering hundreds, were unleashed on the Area House venue of the Security Summit hosted by the Coalition of Northern Group on Monday, December 14, 2020. Fauzia Ibrahim reporting for SVTV.
The Resource Center for Human Rights and Civic Education has said that with the caution by the International Monetary Fund to the federal government on Nigeria's increasing debt vulnerabilities, it is time to curb the appetite for uncontrolled borrowing by working to position the nation's economy to be on the right footing. The center applauded what it described as a subtle note of caution recently handed down by the IMF to the federal government over Nigeria's burgeoning debt profile. In a statement signed by its executive director, Comrade Dr. Ibrahim M. Zikrullahi, the center urged the federal government to adopt the advice by the IMF to focus more on revenue mobilization instead of unstable borrowing, stressing that it is very clear that even Nigerians' creditors are getting wary of the prospects of the country getting bogged down by massive and unsustainable debt burden. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Coronavirus or COVID-19, the most recent outbreak that has turned to be a global pandemic. Watch how it easily and quickly spreads among humans.
That you can save your life and save the lives of many others by keeping yourself and your environment clean. As part of your civic responsibilities, you should help the government to maintain a clean environment in its determined effort to prevent any outbreak of coronavirus COVID-19 in the states. For your own safety, you should ensure regular washing of your hands with soap under running water or use sanitizer. Avoid body contact and avoid big gathering of people. In case you notice any symptoms of coronavirus, like difficulties in breathing, high body temperature, running nose, feverish condition, you should immediately contact any member of the contact committee on the outbreak of coronavirus COVID-19 on the following numbers: 081 65 40 86 96, 081 05 00 988, or 080-6303-5385. A stitch in time, they say, saves life.
This message is from Standard Voice Television, Svtv, Seoul, Zamfara State, Nigeria.
Welcome back on Business. Samira Ibrahim have more detail.
Welcome to Business Desk. Forex turnover rose significantly by 180.6% on a record dollar supply, as the Naira's exchange rate at the NAFEX window appreciated against the dollar to close at 394 Naira to a dollar during intraday trading on Thursday, December 10th. Also, the Naira appreciated magically against the dollar, closely at 475 Naira to a dollar at the parallel market of Friday, December 11th, 2020, as the CBN's intervention continues on a record dollar supply. The World Bank has said that steps taken by Nigeria to unify its multiple exchange rates have not been enough, according to Bloomberg. Parallel market, according to information from AboFix, a prominent FX tracking website. At the black market, where Forex is traded unofficially, the Naira appreciated against the dollar to close at 475 Naira to a dollar on Friday. This represents 1 Naira gain when compared to the 447 Naira to a dollar that is exchanged for on Friday, 9th December. The local currency has strengthened by about 7.8% within 1 week in September at the black market, as the CBN introduced some measures targeted at exporters and importers. This is to boost the supply of dollars in the foreign exchange market and reduce the high demand for forex by traders. However, the gains appear to have been completely erased with the recent crash of the exchange rate. The CBN has sold over $1 billion to BDCs since they resumed forex sales on Monday, September 7, 2020. This was expected to inject more liquidity into the retail end of the foreign exchange market and discourage hoarding and speculation. However, the exchange rate against the dollar has remained volatile after the initial gains made following the CBN's resumption of sales of dollars to the BDCs. Despite the CBN intervention, the huge demand backlog by manufacturers and foreign investors still puts pressure and creates a volatile situation in the foreign exchange market. And that's all on Business Desk today. I'm Samira Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and back to the newsroom.
And on sport, over now to Abubakar Sufyan.
Hello, welcome to Standard Voice Television Sports Room. I'm Abu Sufyan Abubakar. Former Liverpool manager Gerard Houllier has died at the age of 73. The Frenchman managed the Reds from 1998 to 2004 and led them to 5 major trophies, including the FA Cup, the League Cup and the UEFA Cup treble in 2000 and 2001 season. Prior to Liverpool, Houllier managed Lens, Paris Saint-Germain and the French national team, and after leaving the Reds, he won 2 Ligue 1 titles with Lyon. His last managerial job was at Aston Villa, but he left a little bit early in 2011 after just 9 months in charge, following heart problems. Gerard Houllier reflects on Liverpool's iconic win in Istanbul. In a statement, Liverpool said they were deeply saddened by Houlier's death. And that's all we have on Sports Room. Back to the newsroom.
And on the international scene, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund has condemned the attack on Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, Katsina State, northwest Nigeria, by a terror group where hundreds of children were reported missing. The UNICEF Regional Director for West and Central Africa, Mary Paripori, in a statement demanded for the immediate and safe release of the children to their families. According to Mary Parry, the attacks on schools are a violation of children's rights and regretted that abductions of children and widespread grave violations of children's rights continue to take place in northern Nigeria. She also said school children should feel safe everywhere at home, school, and their playgrounds at all times. UNICEF in the statement acknowledged the Nigerian government effort in ensuring the safe return of the missing school children, just as it expressed its solidarity with the affected community. Some armed men last week Friday night invaded Government Science Secondary School, Kankara local government area of Katsina State, and kidnapped hundreds of students. Meanwhile, the presidency on Sunday, through the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Mr. Garba Shehu, said that the Nigerian troops have launched ground and air operations in search of the terror group, saying that the missing schoolboys would be recovered safely. And that's all on the news today. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Sultan of Sokoto and other traditional rulers wants insecurity tackled decisively. Zamfara State APC inaugurate caretaker committees. President Muhammadu Buhari fails to assent federal audit bill since January 2019. On business, the naira appreciated marginally against the dollar, closing at 475 naira to a dollar at the parallel market. On sports, former Liverpool manager dies at 73. And on the international scene, UNICEF demands safe release of Katsina school children. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of news and current affairs department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garobatinau. I still remain Musa Joy Unyoza. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.